Lance is one of the most iconic athletes and recognizable names in the world. Today he'll share with us what happened, how it happened, and how he's 100% accountable for his journey. And please give him a warm welcome, Lance Armstrong. For me, one of the sad parts about this is, and you kind of expect it, but I know I've watched you, I've watched the questions. That was hard to lose that, right? You started this foundation that was helping people, and do you think there's any possibility of restarting that with a different color bracelet? It lives, and you're right, Doc. I mean, there were a lot of things, and you touched on it in the intro. I mean, look, I'm not. I don't ever sit up here and expect sympathy. I mean, most of my wounds were if not all of my wounds were self-inflicted. And I've watched the organization really become a shell of itself, which is heartbreaking. And I've watched my own life in the last 10 years, where I've been able to reimagine and recreate and reemerge. What are you doing to keep sane, and what are you doing? I know that when I've been caught when I was younger, I know I would get mad at myself, but then in defending it and arguing and rationalizing and going to a side of my brain that's very rational. And I know for me, one of the things I've learned with the love of my life is letting go of that side and going to the other place. And I don't know if I'm imagining this about you, but having dinner last night and seeing, like I said, watching hours and hours. When I met Lance, I told him I felt like I've been stalking him for years of all the things I'd watched. But I feel like you're in a more balanced back and forth in your brain. Do you agree with that idea? Do you think that you were more so right-brained that you had to stay in that defending? What's your take? Well, I mean, look, I could sit here and try and justify it all I can. It's not. It never adds up. That's one thing. It's another thing to just is sort of strongly and firmly deny and really take on the accusations as if they were a competition, which they're of course not, especially when you're in the wrong. But I did. I was combative. I would press conferences many times at the tour were this big. I mean, the room was this big. You'd get questions from all corners. I'm sitting there thinking, who is this asshole trying to take me on? And this room as a press conference is not a competition. The competition is over. Right? The race is over. You have won. Right? So there's looking back on it, just handled it terribly. You've been investing in the healthcare space, and that's a love of yours and improving that. And you have a fund, Next Venture is the group. Next Venture. And I kind of wanted just to mention that for people who might or might not be interested in. Lance and I both are wearing the same ring. You invested in this company, the Aura ring business, and some other stuff. I've invested ever since I've started making money, which really goes back. I mean, I won the World Championships in 1993, so at that point in my life, I had money, right? And so I would dabble and invest a little bit, but I've always been a passionate investor, whether it's through other venture funds or just angel checks. Look, who wants to be 80 and have their grandkid like feeding them soup? Like I don't, right? I want to be 80, out on the golf course, out in the pool, picking up my grandkids, my great grandkids. That's health span, right? That's what we want. Thank you, Lance. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody.